Hello, I hunger, and I'm going to eat some dragons. In this video, I'll be ranking dragons in media based on how tasty I think they are. Regardless of whether they're from a book, a movie, a TV show, a manga, anime, video game, whatever, your favorite dragons are not safe. Now before I begin ranking dragons based on how delicious they look, this video was created as a part of Monster Week. Monster Week is an annual community event created and organized by Ginny D and Pointy Hat, two YouTubers chances are you've probably heard of. The goal of the event is to bring tabletop game YouTubers together as we all make videos based on a certain monster. As you can probably guess, this year's monster is dragons. Before I get started, let's set up some rules and guidelines. Number 1. Many pieces of media have lots of dragons in them. For that reason, I'm limiting it to one dragon from each series. Otherwise, I'd be here all day talking about Pokemon. Number 2. If a character can transform into a dragon, only their dragon form will be considered. All other forms will be ignored. Number 3. Before ranking the dragons, I will give a short justification on why I do or do not think that this dragon would be appetizing. However, how in-depth this explanation is will vary depending on how I feel. I am like a dictator. My word is law, even if my words are very short. Now allow me to present the tiers that I will be using for these dragons. A tier, absolutely scrumptious. B tier, bloody tasty. C tier, could eat something better. D tier, disgusting. And lastly, skull emoji tier. I do not have a subtitle for this one, because in this scenario, I am dead. And I cannot comment on food when I'm dead. So, with the rules out of the way, let's start ranking some dragons. And also, say goodbye to this microphone. This is not my microphone. So, I'll be back. Hello, Smaug from The Hobbit. According to Smaug himself, he is pretty old. There's not an exact birth year for him, but I would just take his word for it. So because of his age, I'd imagine that Smaug would develop a really complex flavor that you can't get anywhere else. But on the other hand, because he's so old, his flesh is probably like really tough to chew. That's not a problem though. Just toss his flesh into a stew and there you go. You got some great old dragon stew, definitely giving him a B rank. Now, I would put him in A rank, but I think I want to save it for something that really blows my socks off, you know? Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. Now, just to clarify, I'm talking about the movie one, not the book one. They're two completely different creatures. Now, I'm going to be honest, Toothless seems like he'd taste kind of nasty. Like, nasty in the same way that some overrated delicacy food for rich people that you try out and it just tastes not great, followed by you feeling the pain of spending so much money on like a scrap of food that you just didn't even like in the end. I'm putting him in D tier. Shenron from Dragon Ball. When I was doing research for this video, I decided to look into Chinese dragons in mythology because Shenlong is very obviously based off of the dragons from Chinese mythology, so I thought that'd be a good place to start on figuring out what would happen if I ate him. Because as far as I remember, I don't think anyone ate Shenlong in Dragon Ball. I'm only like around the middle of the Cell Saga, so while I was doing research, I found a website that says it was believed that those who ate the flesh of a dragon would be endowed with the strength and power of the dragon. So naturally, I got very excited. That would be an instant A tier. That is Until I realized that this is a health food website, and the purpose of this article was to promote the dragon fruit for Chinese New Year. So I started to get a little worried because this website didn't cite any sources, didn't say this was from some historical textbook or whatever. So I put on my detective hat and I decided to punch in the quote exactly as written into Google. And you know what I found? The quote is only from this website. So I don't think I can use that as a source of information for Chinese mythology, in the same way that I can't use the Ultramarine Codex as my source for a history paper on the Roman Empire. Although that would be really funny. Because I have nothing to go off of now, I'll just say that I could try and eat Shenlong's flesh, but then my jaw would explode because my power level is too weak, and I'd die. Haku from Spirited Away. So in his dragon form, he's very long and serpentine looking. If you got like a big knife, which I guess is a sword, and you just sliced him up into segments, you could have a bunch of big steaks. That is not how steaks are cut, but you get the point. You know what I mean. You just have a bunch of like circular segments that you can then like bag up, store in your freezer. I feel like Haku would taste like fish. Oh, you could like batter him up and then toss him in the deep fryer and get fish and chips, but with big fish and normal sized chips, I guess, unless you find like a big potato. B tier. That dragon from Genshin Impact. I haven't played Genshin in about a few years now, and I plan on never looking back. So I haven't even bothered to look up the name of this dragon. I probably will have to once I start editing this video. So there's my streak of not looking back gone. If memory serves me right, it had a lot of feathers. So pluck off all those feathers, and you get a very big blue chicken. Chicken is always good, even if it's a big and blue one. So that's a good B tier, I'd say. Spyro from Spyro. I think Spyro would taste alright. He's a younger dragon, so I don't think his flesh would have a crazy flavor like any of the other dragons I've talked about. And just like the previous entry, I think he'd be like a big purple chicken. But for that exact same reason, his similarity to the previous entry kind of like bumps him down a tier, because the only difference is that he's smaller and he's purple. So unfortunately, I'd have to say a C tier for him. Dragon from Shrek. So first of all, fun fact, while I was doing research for this video, I found out the dragon from Shrek actually has a name. It's Elizabeth, which I didn't know until now. Based on her colors and the fact she can breathe fire, I'd expect that her flesh would be naturally spicy. So basically, once again, going back to the chicken thing, I think it'd be like a naturally spicy chicken. So you'd save money on buying spices and sauces because you don't have to make the chicken spicy. It's just spicy already. And it's big. You have a lot of spicy chicken. That's a B tier right there. Predaking from Transformers. I cannot eat metal. D tier. Tohru from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I think this might be one of the few entries that has actual canon information about what would happen if I ate their flesh. So there's a bit of a running joke in the anime that Tohru just really wants to feed the main character her tail, but looking at the wiki, I found out that her tail is poisonous. So Spike from My Little Pony. So Spike is like a young, small dragon, and you might think for that reason, I'm gonna rank him the same as Spyro. You are wrong. Spike looks a lot younger than Spyro. So I think toss him into a meat grinder, and then mold his flesh into the shape of nuggets, deep fry them, and you got some delicious homemade dragon nuggets made by processing the flesh of a baby dragon. That's a B tier. Tiamat from Dungeons and Dragons. So first of all, Tiamat is pretty old, just like Smaug. This alone puts Tiamat at the same tier as Smaug. Second, Tiamat has multiple heads, each one being a different type of dragon. Black, blue, green, red, and white dragon heads. This means Tiamat has insane value for flavor. The red one probably tastes the same as the dragon from Shrek. The white one, I don't know how it tastes, but like when you bite into it, it's probably like those videos where people eat candy dipped in liquid nitrogen. If you can find a way to safely eat the blackhead, it's probably like acidic in the same way that a dried orange is. The blue one, I'll say it's like a really, really good eel. But blue. Get some rice, and you have a really good unadon. It might look like the Sonic curry, but it will be yummy. And maybe, with some practice, you can neutralize the venom in the green head the same way that chefs can practice cutting up pufferfish until they're safe to eat. This is an easy A tier. It's like a whole pack of different dragons in one. Paarthunax from the Elder Scrolls. I'd expect Paarthunax probably has really similar properties and taste to Smaug. The only difference is that you'll feel guilty and sad after killing Paarthunax. C tier, because while he doesn't taste that bad, the sting of betrayal will taint his flavor. Appletun from Pokemon. I think this one might be the most appetizing dragon on this entire list. I mean, look at this guy. He just looks like an apple pie. You could probably just go out in the woods, catch one with your Pokeball, and then get a knife and cut it up into pieces. His skin, pie crust. His blood, apple juice. His innards, apple sauce. Delicious. Easy A tier. Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil. I know someone will say I didn't pronounce her last name correctly. I'm sticking to the video game's pronunciation. Even though I know the actual last name is pronounced differently, I'm sticking to what the game says. So I think the appearance of the dragon alone is enough to give you my answer. Not to mention, if I do try and eat her, I'd probably like turn into like a mold monster. Or die. Or both. Lady Rhea from Fire Emblem. I'm just doubling down on the woman that can transform into dragons. I actually did not think this one through. This was an on-the-spot decision to add her to the list. I've been standing here for like a minute now, and I can't come up with anything. I'll just give her a good old B tier. Man, my analysis for dragons has just slowly fallen off over the course of this video.
End the dragon.
Okay, so this one's a little bit different from the other entries, because you see, I'm not going to rank the taste of the flesh of the Ender Dragon, and that's for one particular reason. When you kill the Ender Dragon, it explodes, and experience orbs just fall out from its body. This might be a really weird thing, but I've always thought that experience orbs in Minecraft look like they'd be pretty tasty. Like, imagine, it's just like popping boba, where you bite into it and then the juice just flows out, except it's big. And because of just how unique this entry is, I'm giving it an A rank. Seath the Scaleless from Dark Souls. So my first thought when I saw him for the first time was that, man, this guy looks like a naked chicken. Like a chicken you'd find in the meat section at a supermarket. He looks just like that. Well, once again, I'd say that means he tastes like chicken. I'm getting bored of dragons that taste like chicken. Also, he's not even colored. How am I supposed to enjoy it if it's not colored? C tier, Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! In Yu-Gi-Oh! The monsters are made of light, and once they die, they explode. I don't think holograms would taste pretty yummy, especially holograms that can explode. So D tier, White Dragon from Castlevania. Hello. I realize I somehow completely forgot to record this one, and I'm really mad at myself. So, the White Dragon from Castlevania. It's all bone. There is nothing to eat. Plus, it's been dead for a really long time, and I don't think I would even want to put it in a soup. D tier, Ruined Dragon from Mario Odyssey. So my friend Max suggested this, and I haven't played Mario Odyssey yet, but just based on photos alone, I'm not gonna describe the dragon as tasting like chicken. I've done that enough. I instead think that it would taste like a grape haichu that you can just like tear pieces off of. I'll give it a nice B tier. King Ghidorah from Godzilla. So I looked down and realized what shirt I'm wearing today, and this is a really bad time to be making this statement, but I have actually never watched Godzilla. This was actually a gift from my parents when they went to Japan, so I'm wearing it because it's a comfy shirt, not because I'm a Godzilla fan. I'm really sorry. Based on my research, although this depends on what version of Godzilla you're watching, King Ghidorah is usually an alien creature from space. This means his flavor is out of this world. Whether it's out of the world in a good way or a bad way, I don't know. Let's roll for it. Let me grab a D20. Okay, so right here I have the dice set in the bag that I use almost every week to play tabletop RPGs with my friends. Alright, D20, I'm gonna be rolling it on the floor. I would use another camera, but all my cameras are being used right now, so here we go. That's a 5. King Ghidorah tastes like shit. D tier, Kazuma Kiryu from Yakuza, the Dragon of Dojima. How this would go is I would try and bite him, but then he drops down and Tiger drops me. I am launched across the road and I die. So there we go. That is my definitive tasty dragon tier list. Also, fun fact, when I told my friends I was gonna make this video, one of them said I should embrace the bard and make a different kind of dragon tier list. Anyways, a big thank you to the ADHD DM for inviting me to Monster Week. This video probably would not exist without him, so check out his channel. And while you're at it, make sure to check out other Monster Week videos from other content creators. Monster Week videos will be coming out from April 21st to the 25th, and you can identify them through this little symbol here, or if the video is about dragons. This is the first time I've taken part in some sort of collaboration between other content creators, and I'm really glad I was able to be a part of it. And I'm also surprised I managed to get this video out on time, because you know my upload schedule. I upload like 2 times a year. So, thank you for watching, and remember, dragons are food, and we must kill them all. And a big thank you to my Chaotic Lord subscriber, Sean's Horse. Thank you.